plane's like doing this, and we just see this lady start trying to like gripping onto the seat.
And he's like, sit down, lad!
But you'd feel it keep going like side to side, as well as suddenly dropping.
Cora's face went pale, and I thought he was going to be sick again.
Shine on me, shine on me. Shine on me, shine on me.
Hey Fizz fam, how's it going? So we've made it here to the UK. We are here. Very tired. The babies are in bed. Everything's all good. We're here. We're in one piece and all that stuff. But there's a little bit of an eventful journey because we didn't know anything about this storm what was coming up, because we've lived in Costa Rica for just over a year now, just a little bit over a year. And it got to the point of where the weather's just the same every day there. It's just really, like, there is a rainy season, but even then, the part of the country we were in, it's like, wow, it just rains for like an hour in the afternoon, that's it. So it's like thunderstorms and rain for an hour in the afternoon. All the rest of the time is just still 30 to 35 Celsius sunshine all day long. So
it's not like Mexico where they have hurricanes either.
Yeah. No, that's not responsible behaviour.
It's actually
it's
like
not in the hurricane belt.
It's really predictable, and then in the rainy season, it literally might just rain for like 1 hour out of the whole day, and then it's sunny again.
So we never looked at any weather forecast. Didn't have a weather app on our phone or anything like that. And like as
but just a little tip though. We also didn't have a weather app, not just because of that, but there's a little tip is when you have a weather app, you can get really like dictated by what the weather says, and then it can affect your day.
Yeah.
So we actually decided to stop having that, because you're like, oh, it's only 17 degrees today, and like you'd shape your day around what the weather app says.
Yeah, but that depends. If you live somewhere where there's like really torrential rain, then you might want to know about it in advance.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so we've got that's a tangent, that's a side note.
Yes.
So we've got no weather apps on our phone. We don't, as you guys know, we don't watch the news either. So like we had no clue about this.
I don't even know if the news in Costa Rica, if we were to watch it, they'd even like...
No, we'd have had to watch international news, obviously. But anyway, so we got on the plane, you know, happy as Larry, just...
feeling really excited.
Yeah, and then Georgie, you overheard the stewardesses, didn't you?
No, the stewards. It's actually two guys, and I heard them like talking, you know, where it's like one in between kitchen areas where they like make food. I had them like talking, like gossiping, oh, like the storm, yeah, it's gonna be really windy and there's gonna be loads of turbulence, and I just thought they were like just having a little bit of drama gossip and didn't really think much of it. But they were like going on about it a lot, but I just kind of like dismissed it, and I was just busy like trying to work out where we were going to sit with the babies and just didn't really take notice really.
Yeah, and you could hear some kind of chat going on, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then the pilot comes on the intercom, you know, the tannoy thing, and gives us a warning about it, about how there's going to be a lot of turbulence, especially during the final 2 hours when there's like this horrendous storm going on all around the UK, and we're like, okay, fair enough. You know, we've been on planes when there's been turbulence before, but
like I think some of the flights when we've been to Dubai.
Turbulence, it just means wind, but they say turbulence. I don't know. There's probably a better technical
It's when the plane, it's when you're in the plane and it's not flying smoothly. It's like bumpy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be so bumpy that you're not allowed to get out of your seat. Like it could knock you over,
or like it was. Yeah.
Or if there's like, we'll get to it all in a minute. Or if it's like bags could fall down on you.
Yeah.
So it's not like a smooth like flight.
It kind of reminds you that you're in this like.
So the pilot made the announcement, and then one of the stewards came up to me and said, oh, it's going to be a lot of turbulence on this flight, you know, you're going to want to have the baby on your lap, or, you know, they were just saying stuff like that. But then they found out that Koa was over 2, so he's got to have his own seat. So Koa and Kama had to have their own seat. But when we took off, because Koa had like gone so crazy in the airport and was just so fed up with sitting down, he would have not sat down in his own seat, so they let him be strapped up onto my lap because he's only literally just turned 2.
So anyway, we got the babies to sleep eventually, and
I keep yawning.
And then it was kind of time to relax, you know, so which was a rare time for us. Yeah. So I watched a CrossFit documentary, which was
should we have a little pop-up on the screen though of the baby sleeping?
Oh yeah.
Because we flew business class.
Cute.
It was kind of an unusual business class, the layout, and what it was, there was like
two seats next to each other in the middle, what are in one bit,
like contained,
and then there's 2 seats either side of those, what are kind of separated, but with a little wall what we could look over. So Georgie and I were on the outside, and they were like protected on the
Yeah,
inside.
like a little egg.
We were like the guardians at the side. weren't we?
Darren was taking photos and so was I. We were
Yeah.
like those parents like, oh. And it was so good because they did actually fall asleep because they were so tired from the travelling all day.
Yeah.
And it like on flights before, like the babies like never sleep and you just like they're on your lap and that. But it was like they'd fell asleep and me and Darren were like, what do we do with ourselves?
Yeah.
We were like, what? We might be able to like relax.
So I'm going to keep some structure to this story, okay? So it doesn't take too long.
Sorry.
So I watched a CrossFit documentary. I think it's called Fittest, and it was really good.
And I watched like this Soho, like London stand-up comedy show, which was hilarious. I kept trying to control my laugh. Did you hear me, anyone?
She was laughing like a donkey.
There was like this duo of women. It's called Lazy Susan. Oh my god, that was so funny. You have to watch it. It was so funny.
Yeah, I didn't hear you laughing because I was too busy watching like a pottery competition.
And I was watching the
It
British
was very
Bake Off.
interesting, actually.
So because those two were watching those things, they always
Because
end
you
up
watch the
making
most
friends
grandma things.
with like all of the elderly people around them. So we just kept noticing these people go over to them. We couldn't hear what they were saying, but they were like leaning over like
Whispering
that.
it.
Yeah,
Mia
and so they were
Sienna
talking to them about
are
like
magnets.
knitting.
Yeah,
and
we're like
everything.
a granny
We're
magnet.
granny magnets. Yeah.
Old people love Mia and
But
Sienna.
it was hilarious because I was on the outside of like, you know, the seating area with the inside bits. And then next to me, there was an aisle, and then the other side of the aisle was an old man, and then next to Mia, in the little inside bit, was an old woman. Sorry.
Yeah,
Right
but Sienna
next
was
to-
joking about how I was sleeping next to grandma.
The thing is though, you know you were next to all these elderly people. Maybe like you've got to tell us like if they got freaked out. Were they talking about the storm to you or anything? Were they
No,
scared?
they weren't really talking. The lady next to me didn't really talk much. So.
I just talked to the man like about the takeoff, but I didn't know about the storm until the very end of the flight. And I
Well, you
was-
didn't hear the pilot say it.
No,
No,
I
me
didn't.
neither.
I didn't.
Oh, well, you had headphones on.
I was.
You immediately got stuck
But
in.
usually
Right.
when
I
you have
was- I don't know
headphones
what I
on,
was doing,
the,
but-
whatever you're watching
Oh yeah, it
or
does it
doing,
through the
yeah,
headphones.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wasn't paying any attention.
Oh,
I had
right.
no idea. Like, I was completely oblivious. the whole
I
time.
know. It was only at the end, like the last 2 hours, that I actually found out about it.
Yeah, so anyway, we were getting tired and we wanted to go to sleep. The seatbelt sign kept coming on and off. It was getting quite bumpy by that point. So we put our seatbelts on. I was personally feeling like I thought maybe if I didn't have it on, because I'd obviously laid the bed out, and I was like, imagine if I end up like levitating.
Yeah,
because-
falling off.
Yeah, so because sometimes I don't. It's very, very naughty, but sometimes I don't like having the seatbelt on when I sleep because it's just really
Do you
annoying.
pretend you have?
Yeah, so I sort of just put the cover over it and like, oh, come on, you don't need that on, it's a plane. But anyway, I did actually keep it on because I felt, right, I do need it because it's like, so weird, it feels like the plane's like hitting speed bumps.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah,
you're going
doesn't
really,
it?
or like you're going really fast over a bridge. You're like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that
yeah,
feeling?
exactly.
No, the thing is, I put the blanket over me, and then put my seatbelt on the outside. Because the issue with me is, if I'm going to go to sleep, I want them to know that I've got the seatbelt on,
Yeah.
so I don't get woken
Well,
up.
that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do.
Because they kept
Yeah,
coming
that's what I
past and
always-
checking
yeah.
on the babies. Because we had to put the seatbelt on the babies when they're going to sleep. And like, have you ever tried to like restrain two like sleeping kids with a seatbelt?
Yeah,
I don't think they were.
they
keen
weren't
on
keen on it,
No, they hated it.
So anyway, broken sleep, I don't know, woke up like 5 times or
No,
something.
the reason we kept waking up though, I could have slept through the turbulence. Koa was really sensitive to the bumps. He kept
Yeah.
waking up and looking around.
Yeah.
It kept waking him up, and it was actually quite like bad turbulence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like compared to other flights, it was like really consistent, and it was actually like.
I guess I just
Whoa.
slept through it all.
Yeah. Was it soothing?
I woke up a couple of times, but it was more because of like weird.
I don't know what
dreams.
you're talking about.
I don't
Right.
think it was because of
Turbulence.
turbulence. I don't know.
That's what you think anyway, but maybe
Yeah.
you're having dreams about you like falling off things.
Were any of your biddy buddies scared?
No, my biddy buddy next to me was asleep. Like
They were all,
Literally the whole-
they were all
Oh, it
pretty
was-
drunk, let's be honest. Like,
yeah.
the-
She
we're,
had a couple
we're like the
of-
only
couple of cups
people
of
on a plane who are like,
champagne.
nah, we don't want the champagne.
I'm like,
thing."
Yeah.
have you got? Any,
Everyone else is just
I'm like,
like,
have you got any chamomile tea?
Yeah.
the old women on there were more gangster than me.
yeah. Georgie and me woke up after literally only like 2 hours. So we went to sleep, I think it was about 12:30 Costa Rican time, which was really late for us because we obviously wanted to stay up late to try and make ourselves really tired so then we'd fall asleep at the right time in the UK the next day. But so then we woke up at like 2:30, 3 Costa Rican time, but like 8:30, 9 UK time. And it had got a lot more bumpy by that point. And then as we were coming in, and it was like, because they said, when the pilot said at the beginning, he said, the last 2 hours are going to be the worst. and it was the last 2 hours. What was the worst?
Oh, well, after
Yeah.
because we'd all basically. Are you talking about?
Like
So all the lights
breakfast
got
time.
turned on and the breakfast was getting served.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I guess that was the bumpiest bit, wasn't it?
yeah.
We were
Yeah.
eating baked beans and it was all bumpy.
Yeah.
weren't we?
That's when I carried on with my British Bake Off show, and I was
Yeah.
getting so into it.
What's really funny is though, because Sin was watching the Great British Bake Off, when she was eating afterwards around us, she kept like really describing all the flavours because she'd not been watching that.
I did pick up on that. I haven't noticed.
It's
that.
like, yeah, I can
That's
really
quite funny.
detect like the buttery biscuit. But did you just fart?
No, I did not. I promise.
Someone just laughed, and
It was Mia.
there was a
It was
noise
Mia.
that wasn't a laugh. So because we've flown loads of times before, you know, we've been through some turbulence before. They're going to keep laughing about this. We've been through turbulence before, so it didn't seem like a big deal, but some other people seemed quite concerned. But then during the final hour, like obviously the seatbelt sign had been going on and off, then it just stayed on because it was just too bumpy and they couldn't ever like allow anyone to get up. One old lady who's probably another one of the really drunk ladies, so she's got so much liquid in her. She got up and tried to go to the toilet when the plane's like doing this, and
Well,
we just see this lady start trying like gripping onto the seat.
Well, no, it was
trying to go
literally half
past.
an hour before landing, and you know,
we were literally
even
going down.
Yeah.
Even when there's not a storm going on, half an hour before landing,
Yeah.
you have to stay in your seat, don't you?
Yeah.
Like if you miss the toilet opportunity, it's your own fault. And like the plane does that circling thing until it lands. She was like trying to do it when it's trying to land, and
Yeah.
it was the storm.
Yeah.
And she was quite like a very slim lady who looked quite like delicate, if I'm gonna say it, and
Yeah.
she was just like going up the aisle like she's like holding on.
Yeah.
Like it was really
then
weird,
all
like
the
grabbing on the
camera
back of the seat.
Sit down.
Yeah, they were really telling her off.
One of the men
Obviously,
was-
out of concern for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's their job. They're meant to protect and look after.
They
Yeah.
have to.
And he's like, sit down now, like that. And then she turned around and went back, but she looked quite moody, like,
Yeah.
you
Obviously,
know.
they don't normally talk to people like that, but they were concerned that she
Like-
was gonna like fly off or something.
Like,
By the way, one time I thought I'd say this. It's nothing to do with the storm, but when I went to the toilet when the seatbelt sign was off, I heard that a lady was speaking to like one of the air stewardesses was speaking to this was speaking to the man next to me, and she was saying about how one time this man got up from his seat in just his t-shirt and his underpants.
it's probably
He got a bit too relaxed, didn't he? There is like, there's kind of
something
some
I do?
blurred things on planes, isn't there? Because
It's like
you're
a
like
bedtime.
asleep and you're laying next to loads of strangers asleep,
Yeah,
and it's just
I know.
you wake up, especially all these people so drunk as well, because they
It
probably
was like
wake
some
up
private
looking for a
thing.
toilet.
It's probably because all the lights are off at night time. You probably thought you could get away with it. It's like
Yeah.
they won't care up there, but yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so then we were continuing coming down to land, and then the pilot kept giving us announcements saying it was too windy for them to be able to land.
That's
So
when I
he-
first
he
like,
was-
found out about the storm. That's what he did.
Right. He was really trying his best, but like, you know how a plane's obviously level, but you'd feel it keep going like side to side as well
Yeah.
as suddenly dropping and then coming up, and you kept hearing it like as if it was really making its engines more powerful, like speeding up and then kind of coasting. But yeah, he'd keep coming in to go down to land and then have to go up again and do the
Yeah.
circling again because it was just too windy.
We were kind of like stuck in limbo.
I don't know
in
how
the
many
air.
times he did that, but it went on for about 20 minutes.
I felt really sick as well. You know, you can get like seasickness or travel
Yeah.
sickness. I actually started feeling really sick.
Because we were going up and down and round
Like,
and round.
Cohen's
Yeah.
face went pale and I thought
Yeah.
he was going to be sick again.
You got the paper bag for him, didn't you?
But then I felt like I needed it. I saw
Yeah.
his face, it went super
Yeah, it
pale.
did go white, yeah.
And then I felt like it as well because obviously like we're in a new time zone and we'd kind of had bad sleep and then like that motion was quite
Yeah.
bad. It was like we were on a boat rocking.
yeah.
So yeah, it was different to normal like landings.
So after,
we've had.
I don't know, 5 times going round, then he came in and then you could hear the sound of because I was trying to think about whether this actually happens or whether it was just my perception, but he sped up. So it seemed like for the final time when he was like, right, I'm going to commit to it, he sped up and went faster as if to like try to break through the wind.
Yeah.
And so then it was really bumpy, went through, and then you could see us getting lower and lower. And obviously then what's going through your mind is like, I wasn't worried myself, actually. I was still thinking,
You were calm, weren't you?
is he going to manage to land all the wheels down at once? Or is it going to go like one wheel and then bump down? But I still wasn't concerned, but it did seem
Because
like...
they do actually say that the most dangerous part of flying a plane or like a plane journey is the landing.
Landing, yeah.
That's where the most accidents happen. It's not
Yeah.
actually takeoff or when you're in the air.
Yeah,
So
and then
like,
we just kept hearing other people talking about how there's been so many issues with planes landing and how like they haven't been able to land and all that type of thing. So obviously that's putting it all in your mind as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, coming down, he sped up, just went for it, committed, and then it felt like a pretty reasonable landing. Like I feel like we've had landings as bumpy as that before in other flights.
It wasn't smooth though, was it? It was quite like, and then your seat goes back. But we have had one before where it was quite harsh.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but one time you like landed.
But it
down,
didn't
like,
feel like it landed like
Yeah.
on one wheel and then went
No.
down. It did feel like the wheels landed level.
Yeah.
And then the nose went down, and then they did manage to slam the brakes
Yeah.
on. And then I was just really pleased, so I gave him a little round of applause, and then
Yeah.
a few other people
The little Aussie, he's
started
like-
doing a
I went like
round of
this,
applause.
down started clapping.
Georgie thought I was a
and I-
lunatic and
I
just hid her face,
I joined
laughing
in
her
and I
head
was
off.
like,
I joined
no,
in
I
as
had
well,
someone
and
clapping, so I
then the
better
little
start
man
clapping.
next to me was like,
Yeah, they're very timid. these
Didn't
people.
feel like
They were
That's
drunk.
fine.
They were so drunk, but they still like that.
No, I was
but
really,
that is
I was
actually a
proud of the pilot.
That's a really
I thought he was a legend.
That's a really traditional
I
thing
did-
to do,
I
and nobody
thought-
does it these days. And I think
No.
it's a really nice way to show appreciation for the pilot. And I think in that instance, even more so,
Yeah.
because he'd
Yeah.
like made everyone land safely. He had all the pressure
Yeah,
of
that
keeping
pressure must
everyone
be
on the plane
intense.
safe. And like he's
Yeah.
been up all night. He's British, obviously.
Yeah.
Like he lives in the UK. He's a UK pilot. So like he had to go to Costa.
He probably lives in Dubai.
But he had to do that travel. I don't know if he flew to Costa Rica and back or what. I don't
Yeah.
know. But obviously he was in Costa Rica to begin with, so obviously he
Yeah.
has. But like, there's like a lot of like pilots actually have a really hard job, and I know that when we went to see a chiropractor in Dubai, she said that pilots have really bad posture and they need a lot of work on
Yeah.
their bodies. Like they do a lot for people.
Flipping heck, mate. Round of applause for pilots. I feel like this is like Pilot Appreciation Day, isn't it?
And I actually
was
got to see the
incredible.
pilot. I sneaked in the cockpit.
I never realised you were a plane spotter.
No, they opened up the door and one came out and asked for a drink and that, and they were like, "Do you want a bacon butty and everything?" to him. But I have to say, guys, when we landed, the minute we got off the plane, oh my goodness, it was cold.
Yeah.
yes.
So cold.
It was so cold.
Yeah.
And we're
So
we're
cold.
starting to warm up a little bit now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Got socks on, got a hoodie on.
I haven't got socks on.
But tomorrow,
My feet are really cold.
but tomorrow we have got a really fun day planned, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're gonna go out and have a fun day, and we're gonna show the babies loads of firsts, which I'm really excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna be tour guides.
Yes, we've got loads of plans. Very excited to
Yeah.
be here. We're going to show you where we are, show you everything what's going on.
And we're safe. We survived the storm, and
And round of applause for the pilot again.
Yeah.
See you in the next video.
bye.